My experience has been wholly positive. I've only got the comparison of working in the academic sector, however, so that's the sort of anchor. Coming from 10 years of working for the academy, I do feel like it's a more positive, more collegiate, friendly place to work. There's less ego and backstabbing, etc. So again, a lot of what I would be inclined to disclose, and I'm happy to do so, is probably built on what I have as a comparison from before working in the charity. But if I try and zoom in a little bit, good people. I feel like the pace is good. I feel like there is a sort of collective thing that we're working toward. It just feels like a much more pleasant sort of way of life, having a job that happens to also be maybe a bit more accommodating for my lifestyle, especially factoring in pandemic, etc. There's been a lot of changes in the last couple of years, and I don't know if I would have had quite the same level of support, let's say, had I still been in the academic sector, where the pace is much quicker and the demands are immense. So as a starter for 10, it's been positive so far. I mean, for one thing, there's less than 30 of us, and that's us having expanded a lot in the last year or so. It was only about maybe 20, 21. So I think a big difference just straight off the bat is working for a business where everyone can fit in a single room in an office. You know, I'm used to working for, you know, I couldn't even tell you how many thousands of people work in academic institutions, and obviously they're enormous anyway, a lot of hierarchy and bureaucracy, etc. So I feel like the fact that it's much smaller immediately is a big difference. You have direct lines of communication to your, you know, line manager, but also chief exec. You know, it's just much more informal and therefore easier to kind of find things out and to make changes. So I feel like that's a huge difference compared to the academic world simply being much, much smaller. In terms of how things are managed, it's kind of above what I do, so to speak, but it certainly feels like there's a lot more openness and transparency and regulatory kind of things that, you know, impinge on how we do what we do, and being accountable to the board of trustees and making sure that our, you know, supporters who fund what we do, you know, they get, you know, value. Basically, they're doing all sorts of things, jumping through hoops to make sure that we can provide the services that we do, or in my case, to help to fund research. So all that adds up to just feeling a little bit more kind of accommodating. Again, I don't quite know the words I'm looking for, but it just feels like a much more sort of friendly, more relaxed sort of environment to work in. Whereas before, it did feel like there was a lot of secrets, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of nepotism, a lot of mystery where people were appointed and how did that happen again, and just a lot of things that you didn't really feel like you were in the loop, and changes could happen overnight, you know, and you would feel maybe a bit disconnected and concerned about what was going on, the bigger picture and the bigger, wider political landscape and everything. I feel that academic sectors went through massive changes in the last 5, 10 years, and that always left me feeling a little bit anxious about how that might impact on me without really seeing it coming, and all the goalposts changing constantly. Whereas I feel that what we do in my organisation is, you know, we have a goal, we have a commitment, we have, you know, real, you know, things that we're focused on. And although there's little changes that will happen over time, different strategies, I just feel a lot more settled in terms of what I do, how I do it. It just feels a lot more samey in the best possible way. I feel like you can strap in a lot more and kind of commit and know what you're doing, what you're playing with, and what the goals are looking down the line.